A certain drug is made from only two ingredients, compound A and compound B. There are 3 milliliters of compound A used for every 2 milliliters of compound B. I think I'm just going to put this like this to remind myself. If a chemist wants to make 310 milliliters of the drug, how many milliliters of compound A are needed? Now, this is a little bit sneaky because the way I have the ratio set up, A to B, is not what we want. We want the ratio of A to total. So if A is 3 milliliters, the total would be A plus B, which would be 5 milliliters. So now we can finish setting up the ratio, and the 310 is the total. We're trying to find out how much of compound A is needed. So I'll just call that A. Now we're going to do cross multiplication to solve. So 5 times A, or 5A, equals 3 times 310. 3 times 310. 310 times 3, if you can't do that in your head, you'll see that this is 930. So that's equal to 5 times A. If we divide both sides by 5, we'll have A by itself. So 930 divided by 5, that would be 8. And then we have 30 right there, so that would be 6 with no remainders. So we have A equals 186 milliliters of compound A to make 310 milliliters of the drug. This one says the residents of a city voted on whether to raise property taxes. The ratio of yes to no votes was 4 to 5. So 4 yes, 5 no. If there were 8,856 total votes, how many no votes were there? So just like before, we want the ratio of no to total. And right now we have the ratio of yes to no. So if there are 5 no's, then the total would be 5 plus 4, which is 9 total. And now we can finish setting up our equivalent proportion. So 8,856 goes with the total. And we're trying to figure out how many no's there would be then. Just like before, we're going to do cross multiplication. So 5 times 8,856 equals 9 times, let's call this n for no, 9n. And then we're going to multiply out 8,856 times 5. Let's see, 28, 42, 44. So that would be 44,280 equals 9 times n. If we divide both sides by 9, we'll get the n by itself. So 44,280 divided by 9. So that would be 4, 9, 2. And it looks like it's going to be a 0 and then nothing else. So the no votes would be 4,920. And if we just check this by looking at reasonableness, remember our ratio was 4 yeses to every 5 no's. So there should be more no's than yeses. So more than half of this should be no's, but not very much more than half of it. And half of this is about 4428 actually is the exact amount. So we are more than halfway, which is what we would expect. One more example. This one says petrol and motor oil is a combination of natural oil and synthetic oil. It contains 5 liters of natural oil for every 8 liters of synthetic. I'm going to put out natural over synthetic just to remind myself. In order to make 1,066 liters of petrol and oil, how many liters of synthetic oil are needed? So just like the last couple ones, we have a ratio. We want a ratio of synthetic to total. And right now we have a ratio of natural to synthetic. So we're going to have to just look at the synthetic, which is 8. If there's 8 liters of synthetic, the total would be 8 plus 5 is 13. Now we can set this up, 1,066 liters total, and we'll call this S for synthetic. So cross multiplication, we have 1,066 times 8 equals 13 times S, or 13S. 1,066 times 8, 48. 48 and 4 is 52. That would be a 5 and an 8. So we can substitute that. Equals 13S. That looks like 135. So I'm going to put 13 times S just to remind myself. Divide by 13 on both sides. That gives an S by itself. So 8,528 divided by 13. And I'm not sure, let's see, 5 times 15, that would be 65. Oh, that was too little. So if we add another 13, that would be 78. So let's see, that would be 6 times 78. So this is going to be 5 times 65. And then 6 times would be 78 again with no remainder. So we would need 656 liters of synthetic oil.